Hello. Firstly, I'm really pleased to see so many people in this room. As one of the people who organised this meeting, it's great we've got so many people here. Can you hear me at the back?
Yes.
My name's Eve Light. I'm a parent at Halstow School in Greenwich. I've got a daughter in Year 3 and another little girl starting reception in September. Nina and the other speakers have given us some of the wider picture, talked about where we are at the moment and what's happening locally. I hope you'll forgive me, but I want to speak more personally. I want to talk about our kids, about their futures, and about the schools that we love. Let me make it clear that we love Halstow School. We love the teachers, we love the head, we love all the staff at Halstow. It isn't just outstanding in Ofsted's words, Halstow is outstanding in real terms. I said I was going to talk personally and ask you to forgive me, and I am going to talk personally. I'm going to tell you, 2 years ago, our world imploded when my mum lost her battle against cancer. Halstow School went above and beyond their duty, not just to my daughter, but to our family as a whole when that happened. From the flowers and cards left on our doorstep to the support they gave our daughter in school, let me tell you this. For 2 years, there was a teacher at the gate or at her classroom door to meet her early every single morning to get her into school. There was somebody she knew in the school to get her through the dark moments she would have during the day. Yeah, I love Halstow School. I love the teachers and I love Tom Gray. And let me tell you about some of the exciting things. This week, every kid in our school is involved in Art Week. My daughter has come home so excited, telling me about boots that turn into crocodiles, about the amazing art installations they're working on. And perhaps one of the challenges for us parents, with the nigh on monthly opportunities for our kids to dress up and actively participate in their learning, Victorians, superheroes, the list goes on. It's an outstanding, vibrant community school that treats our kids as individuals. See, that's important because primary years education is not simply about preparing our kids for secondary school. It's a crucial development stage in itself and one which our children do not get back. And that's why I'm here today, because I love Halstow and I don't want Halstow to change. Academisation is irreversible. We are in the midst of changes that will not affect just our kids at the school, but generations to come. People have said before, the schools will lose their status as separate legal entities, and the buildings and lands will be given away to the MAP on a 125-year lease. If it goes wrong, we won't be getting Halstow back. The political landscape has changed since the initial letter about MAP went home to parents in February. The political landscape is still changing. There's huge dissent even within the Tories' own party about the future of education in this country, and it's no secret that there's deep unrest in the Labour Party too. The landscape has changed and will keep on changing. We want the MAP application process to halt with immediate effect, to give all the stakeholders in our schools, teachers, parents, counsellors, community members, the opportunity to discuss what we want our schools to look like. We can't do that once the funding application has been agreed, and we have potentially only weeks before that happens. Let's say our schools do go ahead and become part of the Multi-Academy Trust. I know some people like the idea that schools have more autonomy as academies. Well, there are certain things that our schools will have more, that our MAP will have more autonomy over. Intake is one. They'll be able to pick and choose which kids to take in our school and which kids not to. I personally don't even want to imagine a Greenwich where every school is a multi-academy trust and what happens to those kids that no school wants. They'll have more autonomy over changing our beloved teachers' terms and conditions and pay. They'll have more autonomy over employing unqualified teachers to lead our classrooms. But what of the autonomy that we really care about? What of the autonomy over things that really matter to parents and schools? I'm going to quote now from perhaps 3 quite unlikely sources, current executive heads of Multi-Academy Trust. Last year, Ian Comfort, the executive head of England's largest multi-academy trust, said quite clearly, There is less autonomy for schools in multi-academy trusts than for schools overseen by local authorities. He's backed up by Toby Salt, the chief executive of another large MAP, who wrote recently in January this year, "Too often sponsors do not communicate the reality that the local governing bodies ultimately become subcommittees with reduced autonomy. Disguise this at your peril." And a third multi-academy trust chain, EACT, announced again earlier this year that it was scrapping local governing bodies from its 23 schools entirely. They've been replaced with, and I have to say this slowly, academy ambassadorial advisory bodies charged with celebrating the academy's achievement and chaired, of course, by someone appointed by the academy chain. I have a report here that we've got a couple of copies at the front, and I'm more than happy to share with people afterwards, that came out just this week. And it says quite clearly, individual schools becoming academies as part of multi-academy trusts can, and often do, find their autonomy severely restricted as control rests at the level of the trust rather than at the level of individual schools. Let's say our schools move forward with multi-academy trust application. We know that no schools, academies or otherwise, are immune to the Tory government's vicious education cuts. I can't talk in depth about the financial aspects of conversion because we've seen very little information on it. What I can do is ask what happens when our MAP runs out of money. Do we take on a corporate sponsor? And let's be absolutely frank about this, there are many of them sniffing around in Greenwich, sniffing around our primaries in Greenwich at the moment. What happens when Tom Gray moves on? What happens when John Camp moves on? What happens when the school governors, many of them in this room who we know and trust, move on, or the school governor body ceases to exist? What happens when one of the schools in our group runs into trouble? I don't have the answers to these questions, but the likelihood must be that the balance of power will shift further out of the community and into the hands of a corporation who will have no accountability. Their main aim will be a return on their investment. That's right, further cost-cutting and in turn a dilution of our kids' education. And they won't give two hoots about what we think. There won't be any consultations at that stage. I'm going to conclude with this. We all want the same. We all want the best for our kids. We all want the best for our kids' kids. We all want the best for kids in Greenwich. Working out what that looks like is not the sole weighty responsibility of our school governors. It is our democratic right as parents to be part of that discussion. And that is why I'm quite clear in what we are calling for in this meeting. We are calling for an immediate halt to our multi-academy trust process at our campus group schools. There is no longer any rush. We must not plough ahead blindly into an irreversible decision that so few of us fully understand. We want a meeting similar to this of all stakeholders together, teachers, parents, counsellors, people in the wider community whose kids will go to Halstow and Deansfield in years to come. We want to utilise some of the brilliant brains that we have in our wider school communities to ensure that we have the best solution, the right solution, indeed the outstanding solution for our outstanding schools and our outstanding kids. Thank you.